fine.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I
So I'll
will.
just wait till 1:30.
Yeah, 1:30.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready anytime. Okay.
改革开放这些建立的第一特区，
开了吧
28年。
Everyone's here now. So is it an app?
Sufficiently consent.
Chicken puppet.
Madame Liu is the
integrated international metropolis. Shenzhen, at the doorstep of the Chinese nameless vast market, is full of opportunities. Shenzhen is a city of commerce and industry. Shenzhen is a city of innovation.
It's great to see so many people with us today to welcome our special guests from the city of Shenzhen and to hear them and to hear and learn about the business opportunity in China's City of Innovation. My name is Lou Milrad. I'm the Chair and CEO of the Greater Toronto Marketing Alliance, and I have the pleasure of being your host for this afternoon's session. A few of us did not receive the news. Shenzhen Mayor Xu Zongheng, who was supposed to be with us this afternoon, will be unable to attend due to a fire accident that had occurred in the city not too long ago. With our condolences to the lives that were lost in the fire, we apologize on behalf of Mayor Xu Zongheng for his absence to aid the city. As we have a number of new faces in the audience, I thought I would take a moment to introduce the Greater Toronto Marketing Alliance, the GTMA, which is a public-private partnership representing the 29 municipalities and regions in Halton, Peel, York, Durham, and the City of Toronto. Our partners include governmental organizations at all levels and companies from a wide range of business sectors. It's a true partnership engaging stakeholders from across the Toronto region to work collaboratively in a mandate to ensure the future success of our region. The mission of the Greater Toronto Marketing Alliance is to act as an investment gateway, working collaboratively with our public and private sector partners across the GTA to connect them to international investors. The presentation and topics today very much align with the mission and mandate of our organization. And we look forward to hearing from our speakers and panelists on such issues as foreign direct investment trends, the ongoing trade relationship between Canada and China, and future opportunities for our respective companies based both in China and in Canada. The GTMA, while a fairly new organization, having just celebrated our 10th anniversary, has quickly established a strong working relationship with our GTA-based foreign consulates. I'm glad to see that Louis, Commercial Consul with the Consulate General of the People's Republic of China in Toronto, is here with us today. We have outreach to many countries and we have welcomed their representatives to our great region. Just this past week, we were delighted to have hosted a delegation from Russia and the Ukraine. It truly is an international week for the GTMA. We know that robust trade and relationship benefits everyone and contributes to the prosperity and success of our two economies. I'm delighted that we're joined here today by a strong contingent of speakers who I'm sure are anxious to describe their experiences and insights in generating more economic activity and trade between our respective regions and countries. I'm confident that this forum will play an important role in promoting dialogue and an exchange of ideas that will highlight the potential bilateral trade and investment opportunities between China and Canada. As the fastest growing city in China, Shenzhen enjoys over 25% increase of its average annual GDP growth from 1980 to 2007. In 2007, Shenzhen's GDP reached US $90.81 billion, ranking it fourth among all mainland China cities, while its GDP per capita ranked first in the country. Shenzhen and Canada have close economic relationship and share the mutual benefit from trade and investment. The purpose of today's seminar is to promote the city of Shenzhen, at the same time explore bilateral business opportunities between Shenzhen and Canada. Mr. Wang Shuwei, Director General of Shenzhen Bureau of Trade and Industry, will present us the most updated development of Shenzhen, as well as incentives and opportunities Shenzhen provides for Canada business. The Shenzhen delegate will also explore the market entry opportunities for Shenzhen companies to invest in Canada. Besides, a panel of industrial speakers from both sides will share their perspectives on global FDI trade, trends, professional advice on investment, and experiences on how to do business in both Canada and in China. At this time, I would like to extend a special welcome to Mr. Wang Shuwei, Director General of Shenzhen Bureau of Trade and Industry, who is leading the delegation from the city of Shenzhen. From the Toronto region, I would like to recognize the Honourable Monty Quinter, Member of Provincial Parliament, Province of Ontario, the Honourable Mario Sergio, Member of Provincial Parliament, Province of Ontario, the Mayor of the Town of Caledon, Mayor Marilyn Morrison, Regional Councillor Tony Wong, Town of Markham, Councillor Godwin Chan, Town of Richmond Hill, Councillor Sandra Young-Bracco, City of Vaughan, and Councillor Gloria Lindsay-Luby, and Councillor Denzo Lin Wong from the City of Toronto. We have a full program this afternoon, and beginning with a keynote address from Mr. Wang, and followed by brief presentations from a distinguished panel of a group of panelists, including Stephen Jast. Stephen's the president of ROI, Research on Investment, and he will present ROI Research on Investment's perspective on global FDI trends. Charles J. Lee, who's a senior manager with KPMG LLP, who will discuss Canada and China, the two-way business communication and update. Paul Greenlaw, a director, EPM Global Services, Inc., and Paul will speak on EPM's development in Shenzhen, and Jan Sang-Yang, President, ZTE Corporation North America, who will discuss ZTE Corporation and ZTE Canada today and future. The afternoon will also include an opportunity to hear from you, our guests, with a question and answer period, followed by a networking session where you'll be able to interact and network with the speakers, guests, and attendees. I hope you all brought your business cards. You will need them. We have several people with us today who will be delivering welcoming remarks. I'd ask you to join me in welcoming Mr. Bill Mazaris, Deputy Director, Ontario Region, Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Canada. Bill?
Well, thank you very much, Lou. I really appreciate that. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bill Mazaris. I'm one of the Deputy Directors for the Department of Foreign Affairs and International Trade here in Toronto, in the Toronto Regional Office. Director General Wang, on behalf of Prime Minister Stephen Harper, on behalf of the Government of Canada and the Department of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, I'd like to welcome you and your delegation to Canada, welcome to Ontario, and welcome to our beautiful city of Toronto. I hope your stay with us is both enjoyable and informative. Canada and China enjoy a healthy and growing commercial relationship. China is Canada's third largest export market and one of our largest trading partners. As a special economic zone, Shenzhen is one of the world's largest manufacturing centers and a key contributor to China's economic growth. As we saw in the introductory video, there are many opportunities for cooperation between Canadian and Shenzhen businesses, especially in the sectors of information, communications, technologies, logistics, and several other priority sectors. Given the enormous trade and investment opportunity in China, and in order to further support Canadian businesses and investors, the Government of Canada is pleased to announce the expansion of our commercial presence in China. We will be opening several new business development offices in 6 Chinese cities in the forthcoming months and year, including one trade office in Shenzhen. Later on this afternoon, I'm going to be joined by my colleague Eleanor Ruprecht, who is responsible for the information information and communication technology sectors here in Ontario. She's a trade commissioner covering those sectors. And she is looking very much forward to meeting some of the companies in the room who represent the information and communications technologies sectors and industries from Shenzhen. So ladies and gentlemen, brief remarks. I wish you a successful event. My hopes are for better and greater economic relations between Shenzhen and Canada, and for growth of our business, trade, and investment relationships. Best wishes for a successful session this afternoon. Thank you. 谢谢.
Thank you, Bill. I now would ask you to join me in welcoming the Honourable Monty Quinter, Member of Provincial Parliament, Province of Ontario, Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of International Trade and Investment, and Chair, Ontario Investment and Trade Advisory Council.
Thank you, Lou. Director General Wang, my colleagues in government, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's wonderful to see you all here for the seminar on bilateral relations and business partnerships between China and Canada. Ontario is Canada's largest province, and Toronto is the financial backbone of Canada. And we certainly have noticed the city of Shenzhen's incredible growth rate over the past 30 years, from a fishing village to a major financial center with its own stock exchange. And from a first-hand basis, I had the privilege of visiting Shenzhen 20 years ago, in 1988, when I was the Minister of Industry, Trade and Technology, and I was hosted by the mayor of Shenzhen. At that time, it was quite a sort of process to get into Shenzhen from Hong Kong, and they took me on a tour, and the gentleman was saying, I think that building is ours, that one is definitely ours, and I think this one is ours. And when I saw the video, when I've been to Shenzhen several times since then, it is just amazing what has happened over that period of time. We noticed that it has its own stock exchange. As a matter of fact, it's the 19th largest stock exchange in the world. I want to congratulate them on becoming one of China's most important industrial bases. Premier Dalton McGuinty is busy preparing for a very important business mission to China next week, which will focus on the environment and clean technologies. The Premier asked me to extend greetings to you on behalf of the Ontario government for a very successful seminar. I was hoping to stay and listen to the presentations. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but the Premier and the Minister of Finance are tabling a financial statement in about a half hour, and I've got to get back to the legislature for that. The Premier McGuinty believes in investing in strategic partnerships that help businesses grow stronger. And China is a key economy, Ontario's second largest trading partner. In 2005, the Premier led an Ontario trade mission to China to explore opportunities of increased trade, investment, and cultural links between the province and one of the world's fastest growing economies. The results of the mission speak for themselves, with trade relations between Ontario and China continuing to grow, resulting in more partnerships, high-value jobs, and opportunities between us. And that is why the Premier continues to make Ontario's presence felt in China, whether it be in his recent visit during the Beijing Olympics to support Ontario's bid for the 2015 Pan American Games, or the opening of our second International Marketing Center there in April, or building upon the success of his last trade mission to China with this one just ready to embark on. Premier McGuinty is making sure that as China seeks investment and joint venture opportunities around the world, they realize that you can't find a better destination to grow a business than in Ontario. It's a formula for long-term economic success and the right vision for our times. We have outstanding relations with your country, and more than 500,000 people of mainland China live in Ontario, and the majority of them are right here in Toronto. Many are running successful companies here in our province. They understand the value of doing business in Ontario, and we feel the same way about bilateral business partnerships with China. So again, on behalf of the Government of Ontario, please enjoy your visit to Ontario and have a productive afternoon. Thank you.
it's always great to have supporters that have an economic development background. Thank you, Monty. As does our next presenter. I'd now like to call upon Councillor Gloria Lindsay-Luby with the City of Toronto. She is also Deputy Speaker of the Toronto City Council and Chair of the Government Management Committee. Also, I might mention she headed up the Economic Development Initiative at the City of Toronto as well. Please join me in welcoming Councillor Luby.
Thank you very much, Lou, and thank you for inviting me to be present here this afternoon. This is indeed an honor to be part of this distinguished audience who is here to do business. Director General Wang, distinguished guests, colleagues in government, of which I heard there are a number, and ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Mayor David Miller and City Council, I would like to welcome you formally to the City of Toronto. You may know, or not, that the Mayor is presently in Tokyo, heading up as chair of an environmental group, and I think a lot of other mayors are going to be participating. It's called the C40 group. So it's it's actually part of what you're trying to accomplish in the environment and getting moving on that score. Very important. My colleagues and I have worked hard with the GTMA to continue the strong relationship between China and Canada, particularly for Toronto. And I thank Lou again and the staff of the GTMA for working so hard to make that possible. As was mentioned, Toronto has a very large Chinese-Canadian population, and the majority of new immigrants to Toronto are from China. Personally, I have visited China a number of times, both for pleasure and as chair of the Economic Development Committee. You may not know that Chongqing is a sister city of Toronto. And when I was there, I actually got to pat a panda. So that will be forever in my mind as one of the big highlights. But all of my visits have been extremely educational, whether I'm climbing the Great Wall, and I have a t-shirt to prove it, or visiting Shanghai. Haven't made it to Hong Kong. But I've learned a lot about China's culture and its business ties. Diversity of race, religion, and lifestyle is what defines Toronto and makes us apart from other world cities. Toronto is home to virtually all of the world's ethnic groups and is a city where more than 100 languages and dialects are spoken. Like Shenzhen, Toronto is also a city of innovation and investment with many thriving sectors and clusters. For example, you may not know, but Toronto's financial services cluster is the third largest financial services cluster in North America, just after New York and Chicago. Investors can feel confident about Toronto at a time when there is indeed a lot of economic uncertainty out there. The World Economic Forum recently rated Toronto as having the world's soundest banking system. This is something that all Canadians are proud of because it encourages investment and confidence. And once again, on behalf of the Mayor, I'm very excited that you are here. I hope that your visit here will help you to understand a lot more about Toronto and its regions. And you will see the opportunities that we see with your city and China at large to do some very important business, to be innovative, creative, and I know that you'll do a great job for all of us up there. Thank you so much, Lou.
Thank you for those words of support. It's always great hearing from Councillor Gloria Lindsay-Luby. I would now like to welcome Lou E. Commercial Consulate General of the People's Republic of China in Toronto.
Thank you, Mr. Long Murat, and Mr. Wang Zhiwen, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me to be here today, to be invited to this Shenzhen City of Innovation seminar. First of all, on behalf of Madame Zhu Taoying, the Consul General of Chinese Consul General in Toronto, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to the delegation and congratulations to this seminar. The economic and trade relations between China and Canada has been developing so smoothly over the years. Last year, we witnessed the trade volume between China and Canada amounted to $30 billion and an increase of 31% of the year before. Apart from the trade, and we also enjoy very good cooperation in many areas and in many ways. But we also believe that the two economics are highly complementary, so we believe there's great potential for the further development of this cooperation. Shenzhen is a pioneering and innovative city. As China's first economic zone, Shenzhen began to open up to the world in 1980, becoming one of China's main channels of communications with the outside world. In its short history of the last 28 years, Shenzhen has been developed from a small fishing village into a modern city. The enormous change is beyond everyone's imagination. And as a migrant city, Shenzhen is also full of vitality and an innovative spirit. Today, you have already learned through the video the fascination of the city, and I hope tomorrow you can see the beauty with your own eyes, because seeing is believing. And you will also, I'm sure you will find business opportunities there. And finally, wish the seminar a great success. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming this afternoon. At this time, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Wang Shuwei. Mr. Wang is the Director General of Shenzhen Bureau of Trade and Industry, BTI, the Department of the Shenzhen Municipal Government. He oversees comprehensive economic functions pertaining to commerce, foreign trade, foreign direct investment, and foreign economic cooperation in the city. Since becoming a senior staff for the Shenzhen Municipal Government in 1997, Mr. Wang has served in various major departments of the city, Government of Economic Affairs, as well as Science and Technology. Well experienced in foreign direct investment, trade, and macroeconomic administration, Mr. Wang is an expert in the matters of China's foreign economic relations. He was involved with a number of influential Chinese companies, including Kazan Holdings and Shenzhen Energy Holdings Limited, as Vice President and Chairman of the Board, respectively. Mr. Wang received an MBA degree from the City University of London in the UK. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Wang Shuwei.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here to exchange ideas with you. First, allow me to introduce my city of Shenzhen in terms of situation of the economic and the social development over the last 20 years, so that maybe you can get a better idea and a better understanding about the city of Shenzhen. The story usually have an answer to the questions: what, who, where, when, and why. It may be a cliche, but these are always the fundamental points for a good story. Therefore, today, my story of Shenzhen will focus on these 5 questions, briefing you on the city's location, advantages, industry and give you some contact information for Shenzhen. To answer the first question, where is Shenzhen? Let's first take a look at the world map. There is Toronto, and over there is Shenzhen, about 20 hours flight away from Toronto. China's shape on the map of the world is like a rooster. Shenzhen is located somewhere near the rooster's leg. To be specific, Shenzhen is located along the South China Sea, just nearby Hong Kong. It's an emerging city and important hub of southern China. As I know, the Great Toronto area is nearly 6,000 square kilometers. It has a population of over 5 million, accounting for 16% of the total population of Canada. Shenzhen's area is 1/3 of that of the Great Toronto. But the permanent resident population of the city of Shenzhen is over 8 million. The Shenzhen Special Economic Zone was set up by Mr. Deng Xiaoping in 1980. It's the earliest and the fastest growing special economic zone in China. Shenzhen is known as a pilot city for China's reform and opening up policy. In the past, Shenzhen was only a small fishing village. However, today it has become a modern city. This is a picture you can compare with the Shenzhen today and the Shenzhen you recall yesterday. Now we come to the second question. Why Shenzhen? I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce something about the Shenzhen. Why you should choose Shenzhen? Shenzhen has 7 advantages in brief. First, Shenzhen's economy is fairly prosperous, and you could find more opportunity in a prosperous economy. Between 1980 and the year 2007, Shenzhen's GDP was increasing at an average rate of 22.8% per year. In the history of the urban development in the world, I think that is also indeed a remarkable thing. Shenzhen is the city with the greatest economic vitality, fastest development speed, and the highest level of the openness of the Chinese mainland. Take the year 2007 as an example. Shenzhen's GDP amounted to 677 billion yuan, with the GDP per capita being over 10,000 US dollars. This ranks the first place of all cities in Chinese mainland. This figure gives comparison between Shenzhen and several other major Asian cities and regions in terms of GDP per capita. You can find the position of the Shenzhen if you compare with the Shenzhen with the other cities in Asia. Of course, there is still a wide differential between Shenzhen and Toronto in terms of GDP and other respects. But as far as economic growth is concerned, Shenzhen has more opportunities. In the year 2007, Shenzhen's total import and export value were 288 billion US dollars. Its foreign exports has always been the highest among the large and medium-sized Chinese cities for the last 15 years. Shenzhen has export-oriented economy, with the foreign investment greatly contributing to its development. In the year 2007, foreign investment was $3.7 billion. Even this year, this figure still keep a strong growth with a rate of 19%. Shenzhen is gradually becoming a crucial place for manufacturing and R&D for many merchandise like electronics, toys, clothes, office equipment, etc. And now, a total of 162 of the Fortune 500 company has invested in Shenzhen. Here are some of them. Recent year, Chinese enterprises are just emerging as an investor in overseas market. Many enterprises such as Huawei and ZTE and CMC, which is China's marine container group company, has invested large sum of money overseas. Economic exchange between Shenzhen and Canada is increasing rapidly. The volume of the trade between Canada and Shenzhen amounted to $3.3 billion in the last year. By the end of 2007, Canada has invested in 231 projects in Shenzhen. Altogether, it's $250 million capital in our city. I strongly believe that as our economic exchange deepen, both Canadian and Shenzhen enterprises will be presented with increasing business opportunity and investment potential. The second advantage is Shenzhen is convenient in transportation of people and commodities. Shenzhen is the only city that has an airport, land port, and seaport in China. Shenzhen became the fourth largest container seaport in the world, as the fourth largest airport in China. Shenzhen Bowen International Airport is the door to China's airline system. It is also the only airport where multimodal transportation is conducted. In addition, Shenzhen has the largest land port in China. The transportation system consists of roads, expressways, and railways, and reaches all places of the city. Shenzhen's efficient. Shenzhen and the Pearl River Delta are China's most intensive area for industry and commercial functions. In fact, the Shenzhen speed is not only reflected in its supplementary products, but also the whole process of production. Let me take a real example for you. A customer in Paladin, Illinois, shopping from his office, clicked to order two $25 accessory over the internet at 12 a.m. A few seconds later, the order appeared on the screen 7,800 miles away in a company in Shenzhen. Before 7 p.m., the order has become a product, but 8 p.m., carrier had delivered the products to the airport. 48 hours after the order was placed, the item arrived with the Paladin's customer store. That's a real story. The entrepreneurial spirit is Shenzhen's fourth advantage. Shenzhen is a city of immigrants. The booming economy has attracted talented people from all over the country. They bring a lot of new ideas and new way of thinking. Shenzhen is cost effective. This is a wealth of advantages. Labor, especially those labor with some sort of scale, costs are the crucial components of the business costs. Compared with many other developing countries, Shenzhen also has various advantages in this aspect. As a pioneer of reform and opening up, the governmental administration of Shenzhen began to internationalize its practice early. The government has a strong sense of the service and efficiency. Its effort has led to the reduction of the total cost of doing business there. The Shenzhen system of the market economy is mature. I think is another advantage of the city. Shenzhen is the pilot site for the Chinese market economy. Private and foreign funded enterprises contribute 70% of the Shenzhen's growth. In order to improve the market economy system, Shenzhen has issued a series of laws and regulations for encouraging and protecting intellectual property. Shenzhen is a beautiful and easy living city also. The average temperature each year is 22.4 degrees centigrade. Shenzhen gained the first place in the life quality ranking in China in the year 2006 and was elected as a city with the highest quality of life in the mainland China. Shenzhen is such a charming city that you must want to specific information about it. So what can you do in Shenzhen? Shenzhen has four pillar industry, namely the high-tech advanced manufacturing, modern logistics, modern finance, and modern cultural industries. Shenzhen also attached great importance to traditional industry, modern service industry, and circular economic industries. Of the four pillar industry, the high-tech industry with electronic information industry at its backbone is developing the most rapidly in terms of the Chinese high-tech industry. Shenzhen is one of the most developed and intensive regions. The annual organized China High-Tech Fair is an international event for exchange and cooperation in the high-tech industry sector. As a logistics center in South China, Shenzhen's second largest pillar industry is modern logistics. Details about the development of the logistics industry are included in the introduction to Shenzhen's infrastructure. Shenzhen's third largest pillar industry is the modern finance industry. Shenzhen is one of the most important regional financial centers in the Chinese mainland. Shenzhen leads in China in terms of its density of the financial institution, number of the foreign financial institutions, quality of the financial services, and profit-making potential. The cultural industry is becoming a pillar industry of Shenzhen. Shenzhen is one of the three printing centers of China. To promote cultural industry, the Ministry of Culture and other departments of central government hold an International Culture Industry Fair in May each year. In addition, traditional industry also play an important supporting role in Shenzhen's industry economy. From this figure, we can see that watches, glasses, jewelry, and other products produced by Shenzhen's traditional industry has a large market share not only in China, but also the world. Shenzhen also strongly supports modern service industry, including outsourcing, the exhibition industry, trade and intermediary services. Today, Shenzhen is changing from its traditional development model of the higher consumption of natural resources, higher discharge, and trying to develop a circular economy. We are actively introducing energy and water saving, renewable resources recycling, natural gas and hybrid vehicle, etc. If you want to know detail about investment projects, please refer to the investment guide. Here are the last two questions, when and who? Choosing Shenzhen, when? My answer is as soon as possible. You may ask, who should I ask for investment consultation? You can contact the Bureau of the Trade and Industry, BDI, as my bureau. BDI is mainly responsible for the trade and industry economic operation in Shenzhen. Attracting investment is very important in our work. We will provide you with a full range of quality services, as we are always. In order to serve investors, we have set up a representative office in North America. It will provide you with efficient and convenient service. I've given you a general picture of the development of Shenzhen. Invest in Shenzhen and you will discover unlimited potential in business. Friends, you are all welcome to Shenzhen to see and experience the city's miracle development. I believe you will see not only a vibrant and open city, but also some business opportunities. We look forward to working with you to enhance the common development and to create a better future. Finally, in conclusion, if you want to see 5,000 years China, go to Xi'an. That's a very old city in China. If you want to see 500 years China, you can go to Beijing, as the capital of our country. But if you want to see 20 years China, come to Shenzhen. That city, Shenzhen, can tell you what great changes have happened during the last 20 years. Thank you.